We're learning more about the 67 people who died in a mid-air collision over Washington, D.C. Wednesday night.
An Army helicopter collided with a commercial plane that was attempting to land at Reagan National Airport. Thomas Schultz is covering the latest on the story for us this morning. So, Thomas, we're beginning to hear from more people who knew some of the passengers who lost their lives that night.
Yeah, that's right, Drew and China. And as you can imagine, just overwhelming grief from those families and friends. Now, 64 of those people were in the airplane. 3 were on board the military helicopter in the worst U.S. aircraft collision in decades. The crew chief of the Black Hawk helicopter was a man named Ryan O'Hara. You can see him here. He was married and had a 1-year-old son. On the American Airlines flight was a 38-year-old pilot named Samuel Lilly. We learned U.S. figure skaters were also on that flight. Young athletes were returning from a premier training camp. Ice skaters and family members from across the East Coast were on board.
I think so many people see this tragedy and the loss of these brilliant young skaters that, have poured their lives into building an identity in our sport, and for their lives to be taken.
Now, while families are grieving, the NTSB is busy with the investigation determining what exactly led up to this crash.
We will take as long as it takes to find out the probable cause, but the more important part of this is the recommendations that come after that. Our job is to try to prevent tragedies like this in the future and to make sure that no one has to suffer what those families are going through right now.
So this is likely going to be a long investigation. If it is in line with normal procedures for the NTSB, this investigation will likely take a year to complete. Drew?
Yeah, our top national story this week, also the most difficult to cover. Thank you, Thomas Schultz.